Good morning, or rather evening, boys and girls. This is Coastal, also known as Marventus. A dark evening here in the United Kingdom, pitch black, and it's only freaking 6 o'clock in the evening. I am not a big fan of winter, I tell you. However, it is a good reason to stay indoors and do Starcraft casts, so here I am with another first-person cast from one of my own games in the Bronze League, climbing steadily now and consistently. And here in the top right-hand corner is Marventus, myself as the red Zerg, and in the bottom left-hand corner as the blue Zerg we have Thayer. This was a very interesting match, Zerg versus Zerg. People keep saying that it's boring, but frankly it's not. It's one of the most fascinating strategic matchups that exist out there. And this game was certainly a back and forth, to and froing thing. Now, keeping in mind, I am not necessarily good at ZvZ just yet. But I do still tend to lose more of my ZvZ games than I do win them. And here I am sending a scout bright and early, and I have caught his 6 pool. Right, I caught the fact that he's putting up a 6 pool, so I am starting to get up a 10 pool myself. Right, which should be happening any moment now. Now this is the initial battle. The real strategic battle in any ZvZ matchup is this concept of the early aggression defense and how to tech up from there. Now some players, like the player I just finished playing now, is outstanding from going from the 6 pool harassment to a massive tech up and movement beyond that. Whereas other players are less good at it. Now this particular player, Thayer, did not manage to do his transition particularly well. Right, and I was able to out-harass the hell out of him. So here it is, his pool is now finishing up. Let's get a production tab up. My pool is still only halfway done. He's getting his first gas here as well, and I went and plopped up a spine crawler there. Oh no, he popped up a spine crawler there. Right, to defend against any rush I might make. Right, so my spawning pool now just about to be done, and I've continued right on droning in the meantime. So now that that's out of the way, the first thing I'm going to do is get some defense up, because I know he's going to come and poke at me, because why otherwise have a 6 pool? So up goes 2 spine crawlers. This is more than enough to do any early stage defense, so I don't need to do a whole lot there. And I am continuing to drone away. Notice I'm getting no Zerglings, right? Because you don't need Zerglings to defend against this early rush. Right, and there goes my Overlord very, very slowly, heading towards the... Where is this guy going? He seems to have gone poking around over here for some odd reason. Right, well anyway, he managed to get around my Overlord there, which is still heading southwards to try to scout what he's got going over here. Right, so, back at my base, I have now got 0 gas, I've got my spawning pool out, both of my my spine crawlers are out, and I moved my queen to the back, getting a 3rd spine crawler as well, just in case somebody runs around the back here. But now I've got all the base defense I need. Notice, I'm still not producing any Zerglings, I'm only producing Overlords and drones. Well, and the queen, of course. Now here, the first 6 Zerglings have come and parked themselves in the corner of my base and are just now waiting to begin their attack. Doing a bit of a search and foray, here they come, and the spine crawlers and the queen make quick work of them. And they get absolutely nothing done. Lava has popped. Let's see what comes out now. I'm getting my 2 gases out for the first time, and now thinking where I should be taking up. Notice I'm still making drones. Now my Overlord is starting to head into his base in its very, very long and slow track downwards. Now, let's see what we see. Over here still, Thayer has got, now about to get his 2nd gas up, still on his spawning tool, and now teching up. I am still not starting my tech up, because I got my gas so late. I'm sure, this might be a bit of a mistake, frankly, but I didn't get my gas up well enough in time. Right, so I'm behind on the teching up. I'm getting my metabolic boost, and I'm thinking at this point, maybe continued Zergling harassment is the way to go. So his 2nd gas is now up. He is taking up the lair. Presumably he'll be trying to transition from this to Spire. My Overlord has now arisen in the corner and currently sees not much of anything. He's waiting for roughly the 7-minute mark to pop in there and see what's going on. In the meantime, I have started my tech up to the Spire. Droning going on fully. Let's take a look at the income tabs and see where we are. Now, I am, or he is well ahead still on the mineral count, right? Yes, the gas count is now starting to equalize itself. Right, but so far, he is doing a reasonable job. He popped in, did a little bit of harassment, right, popped back out, got his second expansion or 2nd hatchery up as well. Now my Overlord is doing a flyby to see what he can see, and he sees absolutely nothing until that happens. So now I know that he is getting a a Hydralisk den. So now I do a quick change of plans. My original thinking was, let's get a Spire up. But with a Hydralisk den in play, a Spire is kind of pointless. So I instead go straight to a Baneling's nest and decide to do a Zergling Baneling version of harassment and conquest in this particular game. Now notice the complete change of plans here based on scouting. If I had tried to go through, put down a Spire, I would probably have been incredibly screwed very quickly. But because I managed to sacrifice an Overlord and get some scouting in, swift change of plans, no Spire, instead Baneling's Nest and getting up an auxiliary hatchery in base, which I like to do for the extra lava. And because we're going down a Baneling route, I don't really need a huge amount of minerals to keep up some decent harassment. So now the plan is set, it's about executing it. Metabolic boost on the way as well, Baneling's Nest just finishing, now it's time to start popping out the Lings. So these are basically my first few units that I'm about to produce. Putting down Evolution Chamber as well, because I might need to set up some sort of defense or tech up further from this point onwards. And his Spire is now going down as well, and he's droning up a little bit as well on the side. So, still, we are now 8.5 minutes into the game. There is absolutely no units produced on my part at all. Just droning, preparing, trying to figure out what to do based on scouting. The hatchery now gone down for our opponent Tyre, but he has not started droning on that yet, so he's still working off the one base, which is looking relatively decent. His unit count now not looking huge either, because he has decided to expand. My auxiliary hatchery is just about to be done, and now my first few Lings are about to pop out. No point getting them until now, of course, because the metabolic boost is not ready until now. And the second queen has popped out as well in order to saturate both hatcheries with lava. There we go, my first Lings have popped out, and they are now ready to rumble. So, let's see how this goes. First order of the day, of course, is to get rid of this hatchery. Let's see how that goes. In come the Lings, doing a little poking around. Checked over here, that was still, the rocks were still intact, so everything is cool. And in come the Lings to do a little bit of harassment. Taking down the drones, sniping that queen. Always nice to snipe queens because they're expensive to build and they stop macro from happening. Doing a little run around here again. Back again to snipe the queen. There it goes down finally. Up the ramp we go. Right, at the next queen. Now I don't think I managed to make it this far actually. Got some Hydralisk there as you noticed. Trying to snipe the queen but got blocked by the spine crawler, and that was the end of my first batch of Lings. But we did manage to get one queen down and interrupt some production over there. So far so good, and we now know what's going on. Not so many units happening there. 22 Zerglings on the way. 22 Zerglings on the way. So it is now a full-on Baneling approach. Once this particular strategy is decided, you've got to continue doing it until it wins, because transitioning out of here now is quite difficult. You'll have to put down a Roach Warren, get another hatchery, but get better mineral count going in order to transition from this to Roach Hydra. So really, you need to make this Baneling thing count, hit hard, hit early, and win the game. Or not, depending on how it goes. He's busily teching up Infestation Pit and Corruptors coming out. Entirely useless against my army, of course, because I've got absolutely nothing that will interest a Corruptor at all. In the meantime, more Lings coming out. So he is doing a poor job here. Notice he hasn't done much scouting at all and is now actually creating units in the blind. If he had scouted my Baneling's nest, I imagine he would not be pummeling out Hydras either. So there we are. Scouting is the beginning and end of all good decisions. So there we are, another 10 Lings on the way, producing a massive Ling army here. It's about getting in there and busting the crap out of this. So he's going to gas up on his second base now as well. Minor group there in the front. Not a particularly big threat against my huge army that's about to come up. Had he amassed a few roaches, he would be in good shape right now, but he seems to have forgotten that completely. Here comes my massive ball of Lings, followed by a few Banelings in the background. Let's see how this goes. I love the short rush distance on this map. It's just you basically hop out of your base and you're already in the other guy's base. Here go my Lings, followed by just 4 Banelings there in the back. Rolling on in, and let's see what we can do. Getting in there, attacking the Hydras with the Banelings as well. They tend to go down a real big hurry when you got some Banelings involved there. There they go, it's gone. Down goes the Queen. Some more Lings pop out here, but there are Banelings there to take care of it. That's the end of that. Right, in go the Lings again. Popping around here, but decide to change their mind and come down and finish this off. And in the meantime, he's taking up to a hive, which is really overkill at this point and wasted a huge amount of minerals that he should have spent building units. For some odd reason, building even more corruptors. This I don't understand at all. I am upgrading my attack to melee level 2 and pummeling out another 26 Zerglings, all rallied to that base. So I'm just going to use the time I need to get rid of these little tidbits left here. And just as these Zerglings pop out, those 22 Lings are going to be coming right here. So this was nicely timed, and those Lings that popped out, absolutely no chance whatsoever. Here we go, any second now, there they are. Gets around in a really big hurry and they're toast. Right, and then in they come and finish off here. Now all he has is a bunch of corruptors that he built for God knows what reason. Right, with a complete lack of scouting. Right, getting some banelings there before I pop in so I can do more damage in a bigger hurry. And this is the last foray into the game, of course, as you can imagine. It was rapidly GG from here. Here we go. But this is dangerous, folks. This is dangerous. If you go down the Ling Baneling route, you really need to win, because if you don't, then transitioning out of here is very, very, very difficult. And there we go. One Hydra, no match at all. In come the Lings to finish off whatever is left there, and the Banelings go looking for the drones. All die in a really big hurry, and that is that. GG, as you might imagine. So there we are, boys and girls. One way to play the ZvZ matchup, and I have used this successfully a couple of times, and it has also failed me a couple of times when the opponent did a proper tech up to a roach and had amassed a bunch of roaches. This turned out to be a complete disaster. I am very much interested in your comments on this. Do rate, like, dislike, and comment and link to your own videos below, because it will be interesting to get a discussion going about this. Thank you very much for watching, and have a lovely new year.